troubling, other than it's none of their business. And
it sounds like, if what I'm reading is correct, they are now insisting on deposing you. So
right.
They're not only satisfied with footage and emails and physical evidence, but now they want to hear from you what you may have heard that's not captured on footage.
Right. One of the things you do. One of the things you do when you make films is you make agreements with people to turn off the camera. If they're uncomfortable, if you're having a highly investigatory documentary, or if you're getting special kind of access. And now they want to depose me about what were my observations when the cameras were off. I'm not. Again, it's not like I'm holding a smoking gun, but it's I've made. Paradise Lost 1 and 2, working on Paradise Lost 3, Brother's Keeper, and Crude. I've made 5 films about the justice system where I've gotten tremendous access. Fat chance of me ever getting access to a courtroom situation again. The whole point of these laws, the journalist, not laws, the concept of the journalist privilege is that you want to not prevent the free flow of information. And this is going to have, and will have, I know in my career, I can't look a lawyer in the face again and say, hey, give me access to your case because, I can confidently protect the material. I mean, this is going to have a very serious, chilling effect on my work, and I expect on other people's work. The flip side of it is, when I first started this, I was just outraged, and that example that I gave you, of how I feel about, the intrusion into my life is how I feel. On the other hand, you also have to be intellectually honest. And I said this in the New York Times, and all the activists and environmentalists associated with this case were very upset with me. But it's the truth. What I've learned in this experience is you have to be intellectually honest about the merits of a law that allows. It's very complex, is what I'm trying to say. Chevron actually does have a right to some discovery. When I first started this, I felt like they have no right to anything. Why should they get anything? But the reality is you have to be, the law needs to be blind to the needs of a defendant, whether people think that defendant is guilty or not guilty, has a right, has no right. The law needs to be blind, because in a reverse situation, and I'm not saying, again, this is where I have to be careful with what I'm saying. I'm not saying that Chevron is guilty or not guilty. I'm saying the law needs to be blind to the needs of a defendant because, for example, in Paradise Lost, I've spent 17 years making films about a guy who I think is wrongfully convicted, sitting on death row. And if I had something in my possession, or if anybody had something in their possession, a reporter, that would mean the difference of this guy sitting on death row or not, I would want to be compelled to turn that footage over, to turn that evidence over. So, so just because some people may have a knee-jerk reaction to, big oil, the law needs to be blind to the needs of that defendant if you're going to have somebody like Damien Eccles be benefited. He's the death row guy in Paradise Lost. If you're going to have, someone who's going to benefit from that, then that's the tough lesson I've learned on this. At first I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And now I realize, they have some rights to certain discovery, but the process to me feels like way over the top, and it's expensive. We've spent, I hate to tell you, we've spent like $600,000 defending this. Most of it has been contributed by other people, thank goodness. Metallica came through, and a few other people have come through who believed in this cause. But
and folks can make actually a donation at the Crude movie website, correct? Or is there not a link that?
Yeah, well, if someone wants to make a donation,
call Joe.
Email me, because that has gone down. So. But thanks. Thank you for mentioning it. No, but we're talking about, a lot of money has been expended. Some of it out of my own pocket, which I cannot afford. It's just, it's a tough situation.